Welcome to Suzuka Circuit. Not just a track, not just tarmac and curbing. Suzuka is a rite of passage. The kind of place where champions are forged, hopes are shattered, and if you're not careful, gearboxes explode in protest. Nestled in the hallowed racing hills of Japan, Suzuka doesn't invite you to race. It dares you. You want technical? It opens with a winding ballet of high-speed S's that demand rhythm, trust, and the reflexes of a caffeinated squirrel. You want bravery? You'll need every drop for 130R, a corner so infamous it has its own fan club, and probably its own body count. And the final chicane? That's not a corner. That's a trap. A last second, full brake, pray you make it test of composure, right when you think the lap is yours. And here we are, the final round of the World Series Manufacturers' Cup qualifiers. The gloves are off. The stakes are astronomical. Everyone's out here driving like their sim rig is on the line. It's not just racing anymore. It's the reckoning. And us, we brought a 5.5-liter American war machine, the Corvette C7 Group 3. It's big, it's loud, and it eats apexes like popcorn chicken. Suzuka doesn't care. This track doesn't blink. You come in too hot, you're in the grass. Too cold, you're eaten alive in Sector 1. Too aggressive? Hello, tire wear. Too timid? Goodbye, lap time. You've got one chance. One clean lap. One shot to dance with a samurai using a baseball bat. So we tighten the belts. We calm the nerves. We ask ourselves, do we belong here? And the answer is always the same. We'll find out at full throttle. This is Suzuka. This is the final round. And this is everything. Let's go. Not just a lap, not just a number. This is a lap. The one that decides where we'll start when the chaos cannon goes off in the actual race. No pressure. Just the entire fate of our final round hanging on a few kilometers of Japanese tarmac, shaped like a squiggly pretzel of doom. The tires are warm. The brakes are awake. The C7 Corvette's V8 is humming like a caffeinated grizzly bear, and we are slightly terrified. Through the first sector, the car grips like it actually cares about our dreams. No traffic, no excuses, just pure focus and an unhealthy amount of caffeine-induced anxiety. This is the part where your palms sweat, your heart races, and every apex starts to look like it's judging your life choices. The car dances through Suzuka's corners, not with grace, but with the kind of muscle-bound enthusiasm that says, I wasn't built for elegance. I was built to win arm wrestling contests. Every turn is a test, a final exam with trick questions and no bathroom breaks. By the time we hit the back straight, it's not just about speed anymore. It's about holding it together, mentally, physically, emotionally. And then the final chicane, the place where many great laps go to die. We brake, we turn, we pray, and somehow it sticks. We cross the line, P6. Victory? Maybe not. Progress? Absolutely. Then, ding, timing update. Some digital demon out there, probably in a Red Bull or some kind of souped-up spaceship on tires, finishes their lap just seconds later. And just like that, we're bumped to 7. 7, which, to be fair, isn't bad. It's like coming in 7th at a knife fight. You survive, and most of your limbs are still attached. Because Suzuka, in reverse or forward or diagonally sideways, is not a friendly place. It's a precision circuit. It eats laps for breakfast and politely burps out disappointment. So yes, we start 7th. But 7th is still on the grid, still in the fight, still well within striking distance when the lights go out and the symphony of tire smoke and broken dreams begins. Let's just hope the guy in 8th doesn't think bump drafting is a love language. Lights out at Suzuka, and immediately we dive down the inside into turn 1 like a polite missile with somewhere important to be. One of the many GTRs on the grid gets left behind as we sneak through, because apparently half the planet picked Nissan this round. Must have been a bulk discount. Now we're staring down the tailpipes of yet another GTR, like deja vu but with more turbo lag. The field's packed tighter than a Tokyo subway at rush hour, and the air is thick with risk. There's no room to breathe, let alone brake late. We're focused. Laser focused. Try not to get a penalty, not to nerf anyone's bumper, and definitely not to become that guy in the race replay thumbnails. It's lap 1, the adrenaline spiking, and every driver's pretending they aren't sweating through their gloves. Hold the line. Stay clean, because Suzuka gives no second chances, and we've got work to do. Just like that, it all unravels faster than a budget rig during a force feedback spike. Into 130R, we let off just a tad too late. By the time we realize, the car is already screaming, "What have you done?" And the racing line has packed its bags and left us. We lose momentum, and bam, the GTR we were chasing slips away like a bar of soap in a hurricane. And to add insult to injury, another GTR rockets past before the chicane, probably fueled by our moment of existential crisis. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, lap rolls over. We dive into turn 1, and it's deja vu with a side of disappointment. 2 more GTRs come barreling through like they've been personally offended by our existence. One on the inside, one just blasting by on sheer Nissan nationalism. We're bleeding positions like a leaky sump, and as we try to gather what's left of our dignity, guess who pops up in the rear view? Porsche, sleek, white, menacing, probably driven by someone who wears racing gloves in real life. So now we're no longer fighting for glory. We're defending for survival, holding off a Stuttgart scalpel with nothing but American iron and sheer willpower. This race, it's less of a competition now, and more of a very aggressive group chat with wheels. As we come barreling into Spoon Curve, hearts pounding and tires barely hanging on to what's left of their dignity. Something catches our eye, up ahead, exiting the corner, that Porsche, the very same Porsche that qualified on pole position. And where is it now? Right in front of us, in our old qualifying spot, which means one thing. That Porsche has had a worse time than us. And suddenly, hope, because nothing boosts morale, quite like realizing someone else's race is unraveling faster than yours. We're not just driving anymore. We're hunting, with a big block V8 and a grudge. Exiting the final chicane, we catch a glimpse of something beautiful, a blinking red timer. The Porsche up ahead, the same one that once sat on pole, has been slapped with a 0.5 second penalty. Was it from 130R? Did they take a bit too much curb to chicane? We don't know. We don't care. Because to us, it's not a penalty. It's an invitation. While that Porsche's penalty timer blinked like a beacon of hope, we didn't just wait around to close the gap. We sent it straight into turn 1. We dove down the inside of a BMW like it owed us money. Clean, clinical, and just aggressive enough to remind everyone. We may be in midfield, but we are not here to make friends. One less car ahead, one Porsche in trouble, and one Corvette absolutely on the warpath. The hunt is very much on. And just when we thought the Porsche might slip away after serving its penalty, it flinches. Into turn 9, it runs wide, maybe late on the brakes, maybe just a moment of panic. But either way, it's the opening we needed. The gap shrinks like a budget tire under heavy load. We're back in striking distance. That's what happens when pressure meets precision. Sometimes it squeaks. Now it's a Corvette versus Porsche showdown, with Suzuka as our Coliseum. Let's see who blinks next. Onto the backstretch, the moment of truth arrives. The Porsche ahead slows to serve its half-second penalty. A tiny pause, but at this pace, it's like slamming on the brakes. We line up right behind and bump draft it like it owes us money, trying to sling past before the next corner. But that aggressive move, yeah, it opened the door. Another Porsche and the BMW, lurking behind us like a tax collector in a bad mood, pounces on the chaos and pull ahead. Now it's a Porsche BMW sandwich. And with a V8 bottom bun, it's about to get very spicy. We skip ahead to lap 9, because honestly, between now and then, it was less about drama and more about therapy laps. Just us, the curbs, and the gentle sound of AV8 try to remember what confidence feels like. But we've got it back now. Right after turn 1, we rejoin the fight. A GTR and a Porsche duking out ahead, like it's a grudge match from another life. We're right there, looming in their mirrors like regret after a late break. Through the S-curves, it's tight. We look for a move, a mistake, anything. But instead of forcing it, we back off. Because we're not just here to pass, we're here to pounce. Timing is everything, and the clock's still ticking. Turn 9, a corner designed for finesse, which is why, of course, the GTR had decided to throw finesse directly into bin and hurl itself into grass like an overexcited lawnmower. The Porsche, terrified, swerves wide to the left, probably screaming in German, and wondering why it ever left pole position in the first place. And then, us, calm, composed, gliding through the chaos on the right, hugging the inside line like it's the last cup of coffee on a Monday morning. 2 cars, 1 corner, 0 drama. We just sail through the gap like a majestic 5.5-liter American Swan, with a V8 and a dream. By the time they've sorted out which planet they're on, we're in fourth. Smooth, efficient, slightly smug. As Clarkson would say, power, and just enough brains not to crash. This is the halfway mark, and if you've been paying attention and not off somewhere by another set of Thrustmaster pedals you don't need, you'll realize something. We're still on the same set of medium tires. Yes, while others have pitted, topped off, probably had a latte and massage, we've stayed out, clinging to our strategy like a cat clings to the top of the curtain. And now we're ahead of someone who just came out of the pits. Victory, you ask? Hardly, because we still have to pit, and not just for fun. Oh no! This is Gran Turismo 7's World Series, and they demand more than just guts and V8 grumbles. They demand you run the softs. Like a chef being told, you can't serve just steak, you need some garnish too. So here we are, medium tires wearing thin, grip disappearing like hope on a Monday morning. As we wind through Sector 1, the car is still composed. Barely. It's like trying to balance a sofa on a skateboard. It's working, but you wouldn't bet money on it. Through the S's, the car dances. Well, limps enthusiastically. Anyway, you can feel the understeer creeping in like a bad decision at 2 a.m. But the pace? Still there. Still pushing. Still milking every last drop of grip from these poor, overworked Michelins. We flash past a pit wall, with crew members looking at us like, are you sure we're still out here? Yes we are, because this isn't just a lap. It's the long con, a gamble, a high stakes, tire shredding masterclass in delayed gratification. And when we do pit, we'll bolt on the softs. Let this 5.5 C7 sing its final ballad of grip and glory. But for now, we hold, we push, and we hope the racing gods in the mood for underdogs today. Here we are, lap 11, the lap that will either make us or break us. And let me tell you, it's not looking great. Every sector we pass, red, that ominous, glowing sign that you're doing worse than your previous lap. Like finding out your pet cat can now open doors and from eating your last snack stash. At this rate, the lap time is looking more like a tragic comedy than a display of racing prowess. Oh, and let's add to the chaos. We got a GTR breathing down our neck, like a rabid dog with vendetta. I mean, it's close. Close in a phone call from your ex after you've accidentally liked their Instagram post. But this is it. We've come this far. Driving on medium tires like an emotionally unstable driver trying to avoid that one corner they've always hated. And as we approach the pit lane, it's decision time. Do we pit now and hope the softs give us the magic we need? Or do we keep pushing and risk fading further into the abyss? And here's the thing. If we pit now, we're risking losing track position. If we stay out, we're probably going to finish the race looking like we just did an ice dance with the barriers. It's a fine line between genius and disaster. And right now, we're teetering on the edge with a GTR ready to pass us at any moment. The pit lane is right there, taunting us like a mirage in the desert. And as we approach the braking zone, the decision is made. It's time to pit, but not without one final glance over the shoulder, hoping that GTR doesn't decide now's a good time to lunge. It's the lap of reckoning, and we're out of options. Pit, tires swapped, fuel topped up, and we're back out there. But hold on a second, fourth? That's where we land. Another GTR still on our tail. And now we got a fresh set of soft beneath us. The stakes just got higher. We've got some work to do if we're gonna claw our way back into the top spots. The battle's not over yet. but it's about to get interesting. Here we are, lap 18, the point where dreams are made, or rather, crushed. We've just done a miracle pit stop. We entered the battle in third, and now we're riding on soft tires. And they're soft, so soft, in fact, that they're almost tender like a good steak. But here's the problem. We've been frying these tires like they're eggs in a microwave. And guess what? They're almost done. The grip? It's like trying to do a handbrake turn on an ice rink. Every corner feels like we're balancing on a tightrope made of spaghetti noodles. Every corner. We're praying these tires don't just give up and leave us stranded on the side of the track like a confused hamster in a wheel. The GTR, that GTR is back, lurking behind us like a raccoon eyeing your leftover pizza. It's so close we can practically hear it breathing. It's one of those moments when you start to wonder, do I have enough tire left to keep this guy behind me? Spoiler, I don't know. But what I do know is, there's no time to think about it. It's pedal to the metal, eyes wide, hoping that these tires don't just say, no, and let the GTR zoom past like a terrified gazelle. The lap is ticking down, and we're sliding into corners with the grace of a rhino on roller skates. But hey, we're still here, still in third, and that's a victory right now. The car is dancing on the edge. We're hanging on for dear life like an old man trying to hold on to his hat in a hurricane. This is it. This is where we either come out looking like gods on track, or we end up face first in the gravel with an exploded tire. No pressure. But for now, we're hanging on, and it's beautiful. Here we are, lap 19. And let's just say, if there was a lap where regrets would fit like an old pair of shoes, this would be it. It's the kind of lap where your mind goes through a mental Rolodex of what ifs, but it's too late to change anything now. You're in it. You're committed. You've dropped the hammer. But that hammer's starting to feel like a spoon. Soft tires, people. Soft tires. Wearing down like an old leather jacket in a rainstorm. Now, let's talk about the regret. In the back of your head, you're thinking, why didn't I just stretch the mediums for one more lap? Why didn't I just wait a little longer to get these softs with a bit more life left in them? Why? It's like deciding to eat dessert before dinner and then realizing, wait, now I'm not hungry for steak, and this chocolate cake is all I got left. But, oh, it doesn't stop there. We're in full-blown, what was I thinking, mode now. Suddenly, the brake bias feels like a mystery, something that should have been studied, something you should have known before taking these corners at breakneck speed. How does this work again? Should I have adjusted it? What's the point of brake bias? Maybe I should have looked it up. No, I should have definitely looked it up. The car is wobbling like a shopping cart with one wonky wheel, and each turn feels like you're trying to land a plane on a highway. Every little bump and every screeching corner sends a shockwave of panic through your brain. The GTR is lurking behind, like a dog waiting for its owner to trip so it can steal the snack. You glance at the timer, seconds slipping away, and you realize you're holding on a third with about as much confidence as a kid trying to keep their ice cream cone from melting in the sun. This is when the pressure is really on. You're halfway through a lap where you could either make history or just make an embarrassing story for the race debrief. And yet, somehow, you're still here, tired tires, half-baked strategies, and all. But here's the kicker. You're still in third. You're still moving. And as much as you want to punch the steering wheel and scream to heaven for that extra lap on the mediums, there's still a chance. And that chance, well, that's the only thing keeping you from turning the car into a kitchen sink of bad decisions. This, ladies and gentlemen, is racing. 40 minutes. That's how long we've been in the ring with Suzuka. 40 minutes of apexes, tire wear, pit strategy, GTRs spawning like they're in a Gran Turismo themed Pokemon game. And now we're here. Section 1. Final lap, and we're in third. But let's be honest, at this point, it's not about speed. It's not about tire strategy. It's not even about the racing line. It's about survival. Because somewhere deep in your mind, right as you're exiting turn 1, you start having those thoughts, the intrusive ones. What if I wipe out right now? What if I spin and finish dead last? What if I just forgot how to brake? There is no second chance. This is the last scheduled race. The last qualifying round for Manufacturers' Cup. There's no redo, no see you next week. The points from this, they matter. We're not just racing for the podium. We're racing for first place across all regions. Behind us, that GTR. Still there. Still looming. Like a tax bill. Like karma. Like every questionable life decision. Catching up at 200 kilometers per hour. And the pressure? It's not a pressure cooker anymore. It's a nuclear reactor melting down on the back of your neck. The tires? Screaming. The brakes? Whispering prayers. Your right foot? A trembling negotiation between courage and catastrophe. Every corner is a final exam. Every curve is a coin flip. And that rearview mirror? It's just a window into your worst fears with a Nissan badge. We hold the line through the S's. We feather into Degner like we're trying to defuse a bomb made of understeer. The spoon? We don't take it. We survive it. Final chicane. Tires on threads. The kind of fatigue that makes your hands feel like they've been kneading concrete. And then the straight. The checker flag comes into view like a lighthouse at the end of a hurricane. We cross the line. Third place secured. And in that moment, it's not just a finish. It's a victory against every doubt, every mistake, and every ghost of the last 40 minutes. This was Suzuka, and we didn't just survive it, we conquered it. And that was the final curtain. One track, 20 laps, 41 minutes and 57 seconds of adrenaline, tire management, and a GTR infestation that made Suzuka feel more like a dealership than a racetrack. We battled through pit strategies, late-breaking lunges, worn-out softs, and just enough existential dread to make a philosopher flinch. But in the end, P3 was ours. Was it perfect? No. Was it beautiful? Also no. But was it real fast and fueled by sheer willpower and 5.5 liters of American thunder? Absolutely. This was the final round of the Manufacturers' Cup qualifiers. No second chances. Every move counted, and every mistake had a price. And through it all, we held the line. If you made it this far, drop a like, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button like it just brake check you into 130R.